Hi everyone. Welcome to today's video. I trust you're doing very well wherever you're watching from today. I'll be talking about an interesting news that has unfolded over the past 1 week. And I'm talking about it because it's something that keeps drawing conversation and interest from Nigerians, despite the fact that, it's something that has happened over a week ago. I'm actually referring to the current list of ambassador nominees that was sent by Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly for confirmation. Out of the over 20 names that were sent to the lawmakers for confirmation, a few names in that list has been drawing conversation and has been making Nigerians to, kind of protest over what they feel it is not proper, or what they feel that those names should not be in that list. Or better still, a lot of people feel that these nominees should not be in a position to represent Nigeria as ambassadors because of a track record that many feel, it's not very good. Okay, in that list, we have a lot of names, as we all know, but some names actually ring a bell. For example, you have Reno Omokri, who is a former presidential advisor during the regime of President Goodluck Jonathan. And then you also have Femi Fani-Kayode, a former aviation minister, in Nigeria. You may want to ask, what's the reason why people are of the opinion that these men should not be in the list? It's very simple. If you've been following the news and if you've been following social media, you'll be very much aware that these two men are quite popular on the social media. And then they are staunch supporters of President Bola Tinubu. But what makes it interesting, or what makes Nigerians kind of protest their nomination and their inclusion in that list is because of the fact that they've not shown credibility. A lot of Nigerians feel that these men don't have the credibility or what it takes to represent Nigeria because of their inconsistency in terms of the position they've held politically. For example, someone like Reno Omokri, he was, prior to this time, he was a staunch critic of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to the extent that he protested. He was part of a protest. In fact, he led a protest in London prior to Bola Tinubu becoming president, while Bola Tinubu was still a candidate. He led a protest in London to protest against his candidacy, saying that Bola Tinubu shouldn't be contesting to be Nigeria's president. Along the line, he's also on record that he called Bola Tinubu a lot of unprintable names. He called, him being a drug dealer, and called him all sorts of names, and it was very vocal against Bola Tinubu and saying that Bola Tinubu does not deserve to be Nigeria's president. He criticized almost everything that Bola Tinubu did. But shortly after Bola Tinubu became president, all of a sudden, Reno Omokri turned and became one of his strongest supporters. And on social media, he's very vocal, supporting Tinubu's policies and ideas and ideologies. And then, of course, for people that follow him on social media, it is very glaring that he's someone that criticizes Peter Obi very, 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 very aggressively, and then what he does is that oftentimes that he criticizes Peter Obi, and then pushes the narrative for the support of Tinubu and all that. So he is often seen expanding on the policies of Tinubu and trying to push forward Tinubu's agenda and all that. But and then after this, he has been nominated as ambassador. So the question on the lips of many Nigerians is it because he has been very vocal in supporting Tinubu that he's been rewarded with the position of ambassador? And then Nigerians also feel that you have a lot of qualified people who have shown track record over time and who have the experience, the needed experience to function as ambassadors of the country. And then such people were omitted, and then someone like Reno Omokri was picked. And a lot of people don't see him as being credible enough to be Nigeria's president. People actually see him as a praise singer because whatever government, he has a way of flip-flopping in terms of the support he gives to politicians. So people see him as somebody who has been paid to support the current government. So that is the situation on ground. What do you think? Do you feel Reno Omokri deserves to be in that list? Another person in that list that has attracted the criticism of a lot of Nigerians is Femi Fani-Kayode. Similar to Reno Omokri, Femi Fani-Kayode served under the PDP government, under President Obasanjo's regime, and over time he has been a very strong critic of the ruling party APC, the All Progressive Congress. He's been criticizing them, criticizing their policies, and he at some point he swore that he wouldn't join the APC for any reason. But along the line, when Bola Tinubu became president, Femi Fani-Kayode has joined the APC, and then he has been very, very vocal in supporting Tinubu. In fact, he's been very, very critical against the American government, that's Trump's government, when they spoke out against the what they described as Christian genocide in Nigeria, and when the American government threatened to take military action. So he was very, very critical against the American government in terms of their plans for military action against terrorists in Nigeria. So he's been very, very vocal. Even prior to this time, he's been one of the people that have been saying that there's Christian genocide in Nigeria. He's on his social media write-ups. He's been pushing to say Christians are being killed as a genocide. He's been speaking up very vocally against it, against what he described as Christian genocide in Nigeria, referring to Femi Fani-Kayode now. But now that he's in he's in the APC and is a supporter of the current government, he has turned the narrative around and is claiming that there's no Christian genocide in Nigeria, and criticizing the Americans, the purported action or the planned action by the American government to carry out a military action in Nigeria against terrorism. And then Femi Fani-Kayode has been nominated as an ambassador. So people are also of the opinion that it is because Femi Fani-Kayode, who people see as being very inconsistent, is now in support of the current government. That is why President Bola Tinubu is rewarding him. People describe it as rewarding him with the position of ambassador. And Nigerians have been pushing against this nomination, reaching out to the National Assembly to say, don't confirm this nomination, because these people don't have the character and the credibility that it takes to represent Nigeria at the international stage. So I don't know what you think about this, the nomination of these two men in the list that the president has forwarded to the National Assembly. Do you think they've been rewarded for being very vocal in support of the president and being vocal against those that criticize the government, the current government? Do you think that is why they've been nominated for these roles, or you think that they deserve it, they have what it takes, to be ambassadors and to represent Nigeria at the highest level? Okay, so tell me what you think in the comment section. I'll wait to see your comments. Thank you and have a great day.